world famous giant tree. Doc here with the Humboldt X YouTube channel, and it's springtime in Humboldt. So I'm down in the Avenue of the Giants in the Rockefeller Forest. We're gonna talk about J.D. Rockefeller and significant contributions he made to saving our giant redwoods, and we're gonna walk the Rockefeller Loop, check out the world famous giant tree, tall tree, and flatiron tree, man. So stay tuned, hang with me. Let's get to it. Come on, puppy. Another beautiful day in Humboldt. It's springtime, man, and love this time of year. Plus, you know it's springtime because all of our trillium flowers are blooming here, and we've got quite a few, man. They just spring up this time of year. Look at that. Along with the lilies. So I'm gonna head down to the Avenue of the Giants and spend a little time along the giant redwoods. Come on, puppy. You get a stick? Okay, let's go, silly boy. Well, looking a little hazy out there on the jetties. Like a fairly calm, but I see a little surf out there. Well, this is a perfect time to go down to the avenue. Summertime gets a little busier, but it's usually not that bad. But should be nice and sunny down there. Up on the avenue here, I'm gonna go walk the Rockefeller Loop, man. J.D. Rockefeller was pretty instrumental in saving our redwoods, and that's how you get over to Dyerville, the bridge and all that. And this is Mattole Road, and it's beautiful back in here. And Mattole Road goes out to, well, it goes all the way out to Petrolia and then loops back into Ferndale. It's quite a drive. It's beautiful though, but the Rockefeller Loop's right up here, and I'm gonna get there and park and walk the loop, man. Get into the loop here. Kind of gotta keep an eye on it here. It's not a very long loop, you know, but it's beautiful, and it runs right along the Eel River here. But there's some pretty large trees down in here for sure. I'm going to get parked and take a walk, man. All right. Welcome to the Rockefeller Loop, man. Let's go take a bit of a walk here. Get up to the trailhead here. Man, right in the parking lot. Look at that. Big old redwoods. And they're all up in through here. This is the Eel River runs right here. Yep. This is, it's not a very long loop, but it's beautiful. Look at that. But these redwoods were not always protected, man, and in 1917, 3 conservationists came up from San Francisco, John Merriam and Madison Grant and Henry Osborne, and they saw the logging that was going on with our old growth redwoods up here, and they went back and they established the Save the Redwoods League, and they recruited Newton B. Jury to be their executive secretary, and he accepted. And they were pretty critical people in establishing Humboldt Redwoods State Park. Look at that. And the first grove that they dedicated was the Bowling Grove, you know? It's down in Myers Flat after Colonel Bowling. And but this is considered the Dyerville Flats and the Bull Creek Flats, and actually right on the north side of the, or pardon me, the east side of the river, which is on the other side. It's Founder's Grove, where the Founder's Tree and Dyerville and all that is. But J.D. Rockefeller, who was the son of John Rockefeller, established Standard Oil, you know. I'm going to walk the outside of the loop, and then it goes around to the river, you know. But J.D. Rockefeller was a philanthropist, you know, and he donated a lot of money to established national parks. You know, they purchased a lot of land and donated it. The Grand Tetons, for example, Yosemite National Park, Shenandoah, the Great Smoky Mountains, and J.D. Rockefeller was critical in saving this, what's now referred to as the Rockefeller Forest, which includes, look at that thing, the Rockefeller Loop, which is what I'm on now. But in like 1924, he wanted to donate to a grove in memorial of his mother, you know. So he donated $1 million before ever coming here, and then look at that. Newton Drury and John Merriam were trying to negotiate with Pacific Lumber Company, you know, down there in Scotia, and they estimated this land, about 10 to 12,000 acres of redwoods, to be about $6 million. And so they needed to raise that money. And J.D. Rockefeller donated $1 million. And then they hosted J.D. Rockefeller and his family up here in, I think, 1926. And he donated an additional $1 million. So they were able to purchase this land. Not all of it was owned by the Pacific Lumber Company. Look at this thing. Wow. The Grizzly Creek Flats, which are this part of this, and then down further with a giant tree and the tall tree and a flat iron tree, that was owned by the Metropolitan Lumber Company, which had a mill on the Eel River, just on the north side of Rio Dale, you know, right on the north side of the river. It's called Metropolitan Road, but it used to be a company town called Metropolitan. So pretty significant, man. I mean, Imagine donating $2 million back in 1920, in the 20s. There's some huge trees in here. Wow. But they're all over in here. And so the Rockefeller Forest didn't take on the name until I think 1952, but it played a significant role in saving the Dyerville and Bull Creek Flats, man. So we can all enjoy them. Look at this thing. Wow. You don't realize how big these redwoods are until you're standing up next to them. Let me get my tourist on and go stand next to it. You know what I mean? Wow. And this whole area in here is probably this grove and, Founders, whoops. It's probably the tallest trees in the world are in this grove. Amongst the tallest, the Hyperion's currently the tallest, but when they first discover them, the giant tree and the tall tree were actually, at the time, the world tallest. But look at that. They just kept discovering more and more, and the Dyerville giant, which fell over in the early 90s, was the tallest tree in the world for a little while, but it just kept finding taller and taller ones. But I'm going to take this walk around and get lost in the redwoods here this time of year, especially when the sun comes through. All this sorrel that's down here, it's clover, just kind of lights up in the sun. And actually, if you go up to the Jury Trainee Grove and the Greg French Bell Grove has a lot of sorrel. I really like those. Those are on the north side, But let's go get our hike on here and jettison some stress, as it were. Few of them. It's just it's amazing how much life is present in the forest. It's just, forests are just totally alive. Look at that big old tree, and more deadfalls. And redwood trees don't have a deep root system. They drink mainly from the air and the humidity, but they fall frequent. I mean, more than I think people realize. Look at that big old leaner. Go stand next to it like a dork. Let's do it. Wow. Burnt out. Look at that. Crawl inside of it. What a trip. Let's go in. Well, it's kind of dark, I guess, but look at that. It's probably 20 feet tall up there, the burnt out section of it. Trip out. It's not uncommon to have these trees, burnt, center of them burnt out. And redwood trees are fire resistant, they'll catch on fire, but It has to do with the bark and the oils and very resilient trees. It's why they're so desirable. And the San Francisco earthquake hit, you know, and whoops, 1905 or 6, the demand for redwood lumber went way up, and Palco up there in Scotia, you know, the Pacific Lumber Company, had a boom in the after 1910 and into the 20s, and it was because they rebuilt a lot of San Francisco with redwood lumber from up here. Look at that. That's cool, man. Back out to the parking lot. Rockefeller Loop, man. Can't beat it. It's a beautiful grove in here, but there's really just to honor J.D. Rockefeller and thank him for donating so much money to saving our redwoods and establishing the Redwoods, Humboldt Redwoods State Park, man. So keep going up Mattole Road and go check out some really massive old growth redwoods. Yeah, it never gets old, man. All right, man. What a cool grove. You know, you gotta, as you're coming down Mattole, you gotta, comes up on you quick, so you gotta kind of pay attention. But this is the, that's where I came in. This goes down Mattole. So this stretch of, whoops, Mattole Road, it's beautiful. It's about one lane, you know, but they had a heck of a time building this road and back in the day, and but it's beautiful through here, man, no doubt about it. Yeah, that on nature being tricky. That's what happened. There's two trees growing right out of that thing, kind of fell over and still going, man. Man, let's get into the parking lot and check out the big trees. Kind of tight quarters, man. All right, I'm gonna get parked and get my hike on here. Right. Welcome to big trees, man. I'm gonna go check out the tall tree first. Tall tree's right next to the parking lot here, but the flatiron tree and the giant tree are across Bull Creek. And you can cross, there's a big redwood that fell across the creek, and there's a seasonal bridge too, but I don't think it's up yet. We're gonna go find out, but let's go check out the tall tree first, man. Look at that. Go down here first. There it is, look at that. It's not the stem isn't as big as some of the bigger old growth, and it's like the Hyperion, you know? Unless you know which one you're looking at, you don't realize how tall they are, but this one's, whoop. 359 feet tall when it was measured in 1957, and it's likely taller than that now. It's amazing. Well, this, where the tall tree is, where we're at now, and the giant tree and the flatiron tree, this is about 320 acres, and it was owned by Metropolitan Lumber Company. So that's who owned this land, and when it was purchased, to save these big trees in here, and this grove around here is, as a grove, as a total grove, probably the tallest grove in the world, or at the very least one of them. All right, I'm going to get over to the giant tree and the flatiron tree, which are across the creek here, and go get my log climbing on. Huh. Well, get our climbing skills on that I don't have. One way to cross the creek here, follow this trail around and get to the flatiron tree. Man. Jurassic, you know. Here's the rest of the trail right here. But I'm in a, man, look at this. Two trees, there's one behind it too, but they crisscross. See that? Look at that one, big old bow on it. It's not infrequent that these trees will give way and fall, and this is a good example here of what it looks like. It's just amazing how big these trees are. All right, I'm going to follow the trail around and where they normally put the bridge, because there's a pretty massive tree there along where the creek is at. But I think the giant tree is not open. I don't know if the other one is or not, but we're going to go find out. Back out to the loop here. This is parking lots right across the way here. Right there. And when the creek's down, they'll put a footbridge across over here, and so you don't have to go hiking over that tree, although it is cool. It's not, you know, it's a little sketchy. It's kind of slick, man. But there's a pretty large old growth over here. I don't know if I can get around to it, but we're going to see. Look at this. Fell right across the path. Can you imagine bucking a log this big? You know what I mean? Look how tall it is. It's huge, man. All right, let's go around. I don't know if it's... Go see what we see, man. I don't know. Looks like I can get kind of close to it. Let's look. Yep. Look at that. There it is. This is the giant tree. And look how big that is. I can't get up to it because there's some chaos going on around here. That thing, that's the famous giant tree. And when Newton B. Jury hosted J.D. Rockefeller, I believe, but I can't confirm, that they had their lunch somewhere around here, because there's the Bull Creek Flats. And they showed him this tree amongst others, but this is one of them. And again, this was, look how massive that tree is. You can really tell the really old growth, the striations of the bark. And man, that thing's true. I think I can, let me go walk up to it over here, and I don't want to get on the deck, you know, but let's go get our tourist on real quick. Stay off the deck, but get an idea how big this thing is. Ooh. You know? Wow. Amazing. Look at this one over here. Right behind it. Look how much it bows. Wow. This one bows way over. That's what we call a leaner. Even the giant tree, man. It's got to lean back and to the right. Well, amazing. It's one of the more famous trees here, you know, the tall tree in this one. And it was dedicated not quite 100 years ago, but pretty close. Look at this thing. See how much destruction this thing makes when it crashes down. It's just chaos. All right, well, this trail is, I think it goes back where those signs were, so I'm not going to take the full loop. Well, that's beautiful, man. Walking with the Redwood Giants. Just another really special part of Humboldt. I'm going to finish off the loop here and get myself back over the creek. All right, man. Get myself back across this thing here. Wow. What another special spot in Humboldt, man, I swear, never gets old. Well, thank you so much for watching. My family and I would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please be sure you subscribe down below, and thank you to everybody that subscribed to this small family channel. We greatly appreciate everybody. So, from my family to yours, celebrate others, respect yourself, because love is powerful, man. And I'm going to climb back down this log. And I'll see you on the next one. Ooh.
So is this the main way to get over there right now? Or?
It is. The bridge isn't up yet.
Okay.
So if you can climb up, it takes you straight across.